Okay, for our last segment, we're going to term it low standards, no standards, and complacency. One of the problems is that we have very few, if any, benchmarks or standards of scholarly conserved dwellings in our local community. And we're referring to we, I mean the public and novice homeowners who think they know what an authentically restored home should be as far as correct period style materials, period, the extent to which processes are used and dealt with, textures, colors, etc. Too much is applied by conjecture, not understanding the stylistic attributes applied to the period chosen. In question, not understanding the concept of bastardization, greed, changing a historic structure to match the owner's commerce, and lastly, something I call ego changing, a historic structure to impress one's neighbors or tourists, ultimately portraying somewhat of a historic Disneyland. And I've seen in the county, in the local counties, I've seen actually homeowners vying almost for whose property is more historic and accurate than the other, and they're all making this up. Other major issues arise. There are no local tradesmen here in the county worth a granule of sawdust when it comes to preservation or restoration. Sure, we have carpenters that want to go to Home Depot and Lowe's and buy their plastic stuff and put in. And we find that their vehicles are lettered with slogans of restoration and preservation. They don't have an ounce of historical knowledge in preservation and restoration, no training. Not knowing how to execute three-phase plaster, no one in the county. Detect damp, repair timber frames by hand, or to build sash or doors using traditional hand plane and hand molding plane methods. The exposed work they do is enough to fool most homeowners, misleading them that they may have a hint of historical knowledge. All they know are the watered down historical buildings they constantly go by and they see on the countryside since their careers began, and believe what they see as gospel, and use products, again, that are pre-made from the home centers. And sadder yet, many residents with historical homes believe them. They believe with whatever they say because, who knows, they seem like a nice guy, they've been in business for 20 or 30 years in the county, their girlfriends or their husbands' friends use them, or maybe they're friends with their father. I have personally seen work from 3 of the so-called local top contractors that was totally appalling in the county, and I've had dealings with 2 of them. One rebuilt, beside my own dealings, one rebuilt a missing front doorway facade to replicate an 18th century style, including moldings and over-door pediment. The application had nothing to do with period style anything. A bunch of trim work slapped around the door with a pneumatic nail gun, made with whatever router bits were on hand, strewn with machine marks. But yet, sadder yet, the client praised the job. Sure, she had a facade, but she didn't know any history of her own house, let alone history of the architecture, but put total belief in the pseudo-authority of the contractor. Cost of the job, $6,500. While visiting another 18th century dwelling, the owner was boasting of the quality of a cedar shake roof application. Number 1, the overlay was wrong. The starting course was improperly laid and with no side courses added. The roof lath, or we'll call them common purlins, were even of the wrong timber. I just played dumb, a travesty. Again, the historic homeowner knows no better, basking in their own ignorance. So please, out there, get informed before you call in contractors. Get informed of what the project should entail and what is historically correct. Let's add one more instance. I was escorted around a wonderful 18th century dwelling that doubles as a site that collects and holds and displays historical materialism. The kind lady took me on a tour upstairs to show me recent done work on a sagging floor. She was boasting with pride that a few people in their organization offered to, at no charge, to perform the work. She said the wife actually stained the floor. We're talking about either a late 18th century or early 19th century floor with a dark minwax oil stain. It's bloody blasphemy, a sacrilege. Then even a larger sacrilege, the husband laid down a good coat of semi-gloss polyurethane, nice and durable and thick. I had to put my sunglasses on, shocked, absolutely shocked. Do I jump off the bridge now or later? An organization flush with cash should know better, including those doing the work. They want uninformed work by uninformed workers, apparently, done on the cheap. Are these historically minded people? I don't think so. And yet, they are high up in their small organization. Thank you so much.